Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Unapologetically Lee. And I'm Lee, a psychic medium, energy worker, channeler, and a lot of other things and a spiritual guide. Today's video, I wanted to talk about the 5 toxic or imbalanced masculine traits within ourselves and ways that you can heal it. And these are ways that I've done. Again, this is a little disclaimer that this is just one way of doing it, and this is my way. And of course, my way might not work for you. So only take what resonates with you and try it out and see how it goes. I'm also open to the possibility of learning. I am a learner and a teacher as well. And so I'm always learning and expanding and growing, and we'll take any information if it resonates with me. And and I also want to talk about how my take on masculine and feminine energies within us. We have both, kind of like what I talked about in the imbalanced traits of feminine, or the imbalanced feminine traits within ourselves. And we need both. Again, the masculine to propel us and to take action, and then the feminine is to allow us to flow and create and to be present in the moment, right? And to manifest and to call in forth the dreams and the desires that we so wish to have, right? And that we rightfully deserve. And I also believe that energy is energy. I know I labeled masculine and feminine energy, and I think the human mind likes those labels, but when you get to a point of expansion, it really doesn't matter. Energy is energy, and the things that we struggle with, the patterns, the thought forms, they're just energy, right? And also know what you need to work on and focus on transforming and alchemizing that energy. Whatever you decide that you want to work on, like the pattern or thought form, and it doesn't matter if it's feminine or masculine. I'm currently healing a lot of my masculine traits right now, so that my feminine energy can flow through. I feel like I'm working on both simultaneously, and you don't have to choose one or the other to do first. Just choose whatever calls to you. All right. And please, if you have any suggestions, please share them, or any ways that you heal any of these patterns. That would be lovely. I would love to learn more. So here we go. The first imbalanced masculine trait that humanity and also I am working through, and other people, is rigidity. So that's the idea of you feeling like things have to go a certain way, right? And there's no flexibility. It could be either a mindset or a habit. So a mindset could be how you approach a situation, or a habit, or accomplishing things, like setting a schedule for yourself. Like me especially, like I was so rigid in setting a time frame on when I should do my homework, and I just felt exhausted by the rigidity of the schedule that I shut down, and I needed so much rest after working like only 2 days in a row, and it was a lot. And the root cause of rigidity is perfectionism, the idea that it has to be done a certain way. And a way to dismantle it or break it apart or to let it go is structure with flexibility, the understanding that this masculine energy wants to provide structure for the feminine energy to flow through. For example, I am working on having a schedule, but allowing myself to fall back if I need it, allowing rest days. Like, okay, yes, this is my ultimate goal, is to finish in 5 months, but I know that's really unrealistic because that was the old me, right? Where I used to plug along and just power through it. But now I'm honoring my needs, right? As a mom, as a daughter, as a wife, at all the roles, as a friend, all the roles that I hold in this reality and this lifetime, right? And know that there is a variety of ways to do things. For example, my husband, Win, he is so lovely. I love him to death. He is a total opposite of who I am. And so his way of doing things is something I've never thought about. So me being open to the possibility of doing things a different way, possibly a maybe more efficient way, and vice versa. There has to be a mutual respect between the two of us. Well, at least for me. I just need to be respectful on how he does things and be open and receptive to maybe changing or adjusting my ways of doing things, right? And that takes a lot of courage and and trust and letting go of control. And then also, you will need to feel your body react. So for example, increased heart rate, your blood pressure rising and your body is responding to changing the rigidity because you're so used to having your life or doing things a certain way that your body is going to say, whoa, 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 whoa. It's in fight or flight mode, right? And so when you start to feel that resistance, then breathe into it, calm the mind, calm the body, tell your body and your mind that it is safe to have fun studying. For example, that's something that I'm training my body to adjust to. Learning is fun and it should be expansive. It shouldn't be burdensome, just things like that. All right, number 2 in the imbalanced traits I have is hustling. So this kind of goes along with, I feel like rigidity and hustling kind of go hand in hand, especially in the Western world here in the United States. This is the idea of pushing through, even if you're sick and you're tired and your brain isn't working, not resting enough, having unrealistic expectations, especially around holidays. We just recently, New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and coming from a collective culture, Vietnamese and Chinese, we embrace everyone in all parts of our lives, right? Family, like extended family, right? And the root cause of this is hustling, is the idea of not having enough time, or time is running out and time is of the essence. And I want to also talk about how, even though hustling, there are times when you need deadlines, right? Yes, of course, but also reminding yourself and pre-planning. This is the healthy masculine, right? Pre-planning the amount of time that you need to finish a project, for example, and understanding that you might need some breaks within that time gap. So a way to combat hustling is having grace and understanding, taking the breaks when you need it, giving yourself grace and honoring your body's needs, because we are shifting now into more of a feminine energy. The earth is already shifting into the feminine flow, right? If you're sensitive, you will feel like you can't push yourself any longer. You need to start purging and starting to adjust and change your your thought patterns, your old patterns that used to work for you, because it was Mother Earth and Mother Gaia used to be in a masculine energy. The hustling and the grinding and the rigidity and the structure was so strong. But now, since everything is changing, she's asking us to rest more. The energy all around us, and telling yourself, this is so key, I've been working on this so much, is telling yourself that there is time. You have time to accomplish your goals and to do everything that you wish. Yes, if you're not able to do everything on your to-do list, give yourself grace. Tell yourself that it is okay. Relax those muscles, because when we start to think like, oh my goodness, I don't have enough time, your shoulders like hunch up. Be mindful on what your body is doing and drop those shoulders. Breathe, take a few deep breaths and pause when you feel your body resisting to, like, if you're trying to teach your body grace and understanding, in trying to combat hustling, then again, it's your body's going to react. So then you need to calm the mind and the body. So telling yourself, it's okay, I have time, and it's not a race. I don't need to race against anybody other than myself. And this is so important in spirituality and growth and development, human growth and development within ourselves as adults and even children, to teach them that you are in no competition with anybody else. The reason why you feel like you're in competition is because you want to be the best. Why do you want to be the best? Like, it's okay to not be the best as long as you are happy and joyful and you're enjoying the things that you're doing. Then that's enough. And I feel like the Western world has to change. Like, a lot of society has to change. We have to put ourselves first, right? And hustling and rigidity is just gonna bring us down. All right, the third imbalanced masculine trait that humanity faces is greed. The idea that money and property, possessions, there's not enough resources. And to be honest, especially if you're in the United States, there is enough to go around. Okay? Like, even if you are making minimum wage, I know that's tough. But the thing is, like, if you're working a job, you have resources coming in every month, weekly, bi-weekly, whatever it is. What you do with the money depends on you, right? And knowing that it will come back. Just know that there is abundance out there. And if you're working at a job that isn't paying a lot and you're not happy, why are you there? Why are you there? Like, go to a job that brings you joy and say, like, I'm doing it for joy, okay, and happiness. And just, who gives a rat's butt about the money? To be honest, when I started teaching, and I was so grateful that I knew there was a stigma about teaching. Like, there isn't money in teaching. And in a lot of the cases, yes, around the world, teaching isn't highly valued and the money isn't there. But then when I started working, I chose a district that I fell in love with. It's the one that I grew up with. And I started working there, and wow, I did not care about the money. I knew it was something that I enjoyed, and that I knew money was going to come. And then it did. Things just happen. And the root cause of it, I already said it, of greed, is the idea that there isn't enough. And the way that we can combat greed and the idea that there isn't enough to go around is have an abundant mindset. Know that the universe will provide, but of course you have to take masculine action, like energy, right? You have to go for it. You have to apply. You got to change your job. Sometimes change is uncomfortable, right? And knowing that Like your job isn't permanent. You can always choose something different. Go to school to get, more knowledge. Or if you can't afford it, save money. Start now saving. Do the thing now. I keep channeling, do the thing now. Like if you want to do something, start cutting back on expenses. You don't need to go get that Starbucks, or you don't need to always go eat out all the time. Start cooking from home, and start learning how to live a more simple life, and that simple life isn't just driving out and to the restaurant. Yes, that is more simple, but it's not healthier. It's more expensive, like the groceries is just as expensive as eating out. Actually, I feel like eating out is more expensive than buying the groceries, and the groceries will feed you, right? The nutrition that you need, like the fruits and veggies, and making sure that everything is balanced. We all have choices. You just have to claim it and want it. Anyway, sorry, that was a little tangent. But anyways, back to having abundant mindset. So reminding yourself that nothing is permanent, that you will bounce back, and having faith. And allow yourself to share your overflow, your energy, your love, your compassion, donations, whatever you can to give back, to show the universe that, hey, I'm not just hoarding here just for myself. I'm willing to give back to those who need it, to my loved ones, to my friends, my family, a stranger on the street. Whatever you need, right? Or whatever calls to you, whatever calls to your heart. All right, the fourth imbalanced masculine trait is wrath or anger. And this is one of the sins, again, with greed. I think there are 3 deadly sins in here that are more masculine, and greed and wrath is one of them. So the idea of it is ego-led, wrath and anger, because I feel like it's a need to defend yourself, to prove yourself, right? To let yourself be heard. And it can be extremely destructive. It has a lot of energy behind it. And the root cause is to be understood, or self-preservation of the person that you think you are. But to be honest, if you are content, okay, so now I'm going to go into what can you combat wrath and anger with, is curiosity and self-acceptance of who you truly are. You are a divine being that is calm and of the light, and creating a sense of deep inner peace within yourself. It is the matrix. It is the structures in society and our traumas that make us think that we are like angry people. And the thing about it is, a lot of masculines, males, they have struggle with anger because it's the only emotion that was allowed and that was okay for them to feel. And to be honest, I feel like they're angry because they can't express themselves. They can't fully love themselves, and be in a state of love rather than lust. Right? When you feel that a rage or anger coming up, pause and breathe, ground that energy, and maybe later, before you respond, and later when you're in a safe space, let out that anger, scream, run. Anger and wrath is so strong that when it's kept within us, it eats up our bodies. It causes high blood pressure. What else? Anxiety, right? And just your heart is just so tight. And this is why a lot of masculines, they have heart issues, right? And feminines, they have mental issues because we're holding a lot of mental load. And then the masculines, they're holding a lot in their hearts, right? You have to heal that part of you to allow yourself to feel. And that goes back to the feminine energy, right? To feel love, not lust, it's all about the love. And when you are in a fit of rage or anger, ask yourself, what is the lesson that this is trying to teach me? Breathe and tell yourself that you are safe. You are safe to feel that anger, but don't allow it to consume you. And seek to understand, forgive yourself, and making sure that there is no need, telling yourself there is no need to prove yourself to others. You don't have to prove yourself. The only person that you need to prove yourself is you. Are you giving yourself grace? Are you listening to yourself? You don't need to have any other people's approval. And this is what society has backwards, is that we are looking for outside validation, external validation, when we should be looking within. When we need to give ourselves validation, like my husband, and my parents, my friends can keep telling me that I'm amazing and all that, and it won't resonate until I fully accept it and train my brain and my soul and my heart to fully feel like I am amazing, I am divine, I am love, right? Telling yourself, reteaching yourself that. And rage also is in the solar plex. To combat that is to extend that. It's the heart and solar plex. Giving yourself love and compassion and curiosity to make those mistakes, right? All right, the last and fifth imbalanced masculine traits that I see in society, in the world, and within myself is hyper-independence. This is so common amongst mothers, women who are girl bosses, and it's the idea of not asking for help and doing everything yourself because no one is going to help me, and it's difficult for me to receive, or it's hard for me to say yes, and perfection and rigidity. See how the other traits kind of come into hyper independence. So a way to combat this is forming partnerships, finding someone that you can trust, that you feel safe enough to hand over the control, and asking for help when you're at your wit's end, when you start to feel the anger and the frustration, those lower vibrations. Ask for help. That means that you are just treading water. And when your anxiety is high, you're treading water. Ask for help. And changing the mindset changing the mindset of society, especially in the Western world, that humans were not to be alone, to be isolated. I don't think that I would have been an effective mother and a loving mother without my community, my tribe, my parents, Wynn's parents, and our family that comes and sees us, our in-laws, my in-laws actually, and to find your tribe. And I know that a lot of the spiritualist community talks about how families are toxic. They are. I'm sure my children are probably going to find me toxic, because there are moments when I lose it and I forget that, they are children. And families are toxic. Our parents did everything that they could at the time, and giving them grace and forgiving them, right? And I know it's hard if you are a middle-aged person like myself. You're right in the middle, right? You're not the youngest, you're not a child, and you're not an elderly, but you're right in the middle. That you have to hold space and heal that part of you and forgive them for what they have done to you. They didn't mean it. They were unconscious at the time, and they didn't have the tools and the skills to provide that safety net. And you chose them for a reason. And this might trigger some people, like your soul chose them because you wanted to overcome these traumas and these triggers. This was your lifetime to learn these lessons, you know, and to really go within and to forgive them and ask for help whenever you need to. Of course, if they are horrible people and you don't feel safe, like you don't feel like your children can be safe with them, yes, of course, yeah. Do not give your children or ask for help from people that you don't feel safe with. Yes, ultimately, but it is ultimately up to you to decide and ask for help and heal all those parts of you and go within. Anyways, this is the end of the video, and I really hope that you found some tips and tricks, and hopefully it opened your mind of possible patterns that you want to work with, that you want to face and you want to change. And my hope is that you have a beautiful day, and day, night, whatever time it is for you. And I'm sending you my love. Bye, everyone.